What's going on, everybody? It's Bo with Light Leaf Nurseries here in Middle Tennessee. Um, we're going to get some tomato seeds started, and I was just going to kind of show y'all how I did it. Real simple. Who don't love a good homegrown tomato, especially if you know where they came from. Uh, so let's go ahead and get started. It's real easy. I'll show you some of the things I like to do. There's so many ways you can go about it. I'll use what I like to call, they're a 606 tray. And they're like these dudes right here. 606s is because there's 6 of them that fit in a flat. 6 individual pods right there for your plants. I like to use these because I'll go to the farmer's market in the spring and I don't have to transplant these from like a 72 cell growing tray, which is great to use also. But if you're gonna sell your product like I do, because I'm just a small backyard nursery, it's easier for me to just grow in these. Just let them grow. People can come buy the trays. This is how you would normally buy one at a nursery or a big box store. This is the norm. So I like to grow in these. If you're just doing it for your personal use or garden and you need space in your home to start these things, if you don't have a lot of space, a lot of times you can find these. You can order them all. You can order anything on the damn internet. Internet's got everything. But anyways, this is what they call a 72 cell. And so you can grow in this, you can start your seeds in this, but be mindful that once everything comes up, and if you're not going directly into the garden, a lot of times you want to go ahead and once these are ready to transplant, if they become a little too root bound in these little small containers, which you don't have to put these in a bigger container. You can go straight into the garden when you're ready. Just make sure that you time your weeks out to your last frost till everything's ready to go in the garden. That's the biggest thing is your timing on these guys. Because let's face it, you don't want to be growing. When I started the first time, even though I've been working in nursery for 20 years, I never really grew anything. And I did this because I just wanted to see if I could. And by golly, to find out anybody can do this, it's easy. So anyways, I'm kind of getting off track here, but you'll have to, if these get too far along, I guess I'm trying to say, and it's not ready to go outside, you're gonna have to pot them up into a bigger container. And I don't have one here with me. I didn't. Of course, I'm not prepared like I should be, but anywho, you can use these. You could, if you got a small garden outside, you could almost plant your whole damn garden in this thing. You could do like 2 rows of tomatoes, 2 rows of peppers, you see what I'm saying? Just, that's 72 plants. That's a lot of plants. But that's one thing you can use. Let's see where I'll put that right there. You'll want to get some trays that don't have holes in them. So most of the time in the spring, you can find these at your big box stores. They'll have seed starting trays, and they'll have the trays with no holes in them. Because you want to, the way I do it is I just get my 606s that I use, and I'll fill these guys up with water. Like this one is already. Set that over here. And so I'll put my potting mix in these dry, and you just, I should have went ahead and done that to show you, but anyways, so I fill these trays up with water, this big tray. I'll fill these up dry, and then I'll just set these in here, and they'll just soak the water up. You don't have to sit there and try to overhead water these things to get them wet, because when you do, it's going to probably splash dirt. You're going to make a big old mess. So just let that tray soak it up. You're ready to go. You're ready to put your seed in there. These are humidity domes. You can use them. I don't. I did it first, but I found that a lot of times they created a little too much humidity, and you don't want that dirt to stay totally wet and soggy, because you could get, your seeds will become soggy. So you want to let that air circulation a little bit, but you can use them. I mean, you know, I've had good luck either or not way of using them. I've had good luck both and not, but stick that right there. You can do this. You can go to the Dollar General store like we have here in the South. They're everywhere. There's one on every corner, a mile from each other. Get you one of these pans right here. Man, no joke. Get you one of these little plastic cups. Take your little knife, poke your little holes in there, fill this thing up with your potting soil, and we'll get to the potting soil here in a minute. Fill that pan up with a little water. With, you know, you got your dirt in here. Set those right in there. They'll soak that water up. She'll blame you. You probably got, I don't know, I think these are like $4 for 40. These are like, you can get these for like, I don't know, 3 for $2. And there you go. And you start growing in that. So there's all kind of different options you can use. It's a little bit harder to find these. The 606s. And so I was going to say, I live in Middle Tennessee. There's a great place in Cookeville. I don't know where y'all are at, if y'all are in Tennessee or not, but, or you could just get them shipped from there if y'all are close. It's called Grower Solution, and I'll try to leave a link down below. I'm kind of new at this, so y'all bear with me. And then that way you can order from them. And if you like to sell at the farmer's market like I do, and you got a little greenhouse, because you're going to want to take these outside to harden off, and we'll get into all that in another video. But you can go there, and man, they're not expensive. They're very cheap, and if you're selling, just add that into the cost of your plant. Usually I'll take, and for a 6-pack, with the potting soil, the container, and the seeds, I probably usually got about $1.25 into just like this one whole unit right here. Sorry, this one whole unit right here. And I can usually get like $5 for that, you know. But as far as water goes, warm tap water. As far as potting soil goes, soil out of your garden. You don't want to go out there and dig up dirt and bring it in and put that in your house. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of eggs, like gnats and stuff in that dirt. And you go in there and you put that in there, and those things come alive in your house, you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be itching at night, you know, bugs be all in your hair. Don't do that. Anywho, and I would suggest, so even though you get this dirt, this potting soil in the bags, when you first put your initial water in there, I would boil the water, or at least get it pretty good and hot, and let that be your first initial watering of this dirt. And like I said, you're just going to put that water in there, and you're going to put your dry dirt and your containers in here, set them in there. By golly, next day they're ready. They're ready to cook. So that's pretty much it on the containers. As far as, you know, I know, like I said, I'm a simple person. I just try to keep things simple. So let's throw some seeds in here. I'll be planting, we're going to do some Bradley's tomato seeds. And yeah, let's get in here on it. So be right back. All right, guys, we're back. I just want to show you what kind of potting soil I make up.
I try to use my own. Try to make a little bit of good light fluffy stuff. Some of your potting soils are a little too heavy. This is a little fluffy. So what I usually do, as you can see, is pretty fluffy. So what I do, and it don't take much because these seeds, they don't need any food. What I'll do is I'll take straight peat moss. Let me get some here. I've already got that mixed up in the wheelbarrow, but just for YouTube purposes, we'll go ahead and mix a little up. So this is just straight peat moss, as you can see. It's compacted. You usually get these in bales. Usually about 25, 30 bucks a bale. You can take, kind of rub it in your hands, mix it up a little bit. If you got a big batch to do, you can take your hoe and work it around, shovel, rake, whatever you got. I like, now there's some in here, I've already added it, but I like to add a little perlite. It's almost like styrofoam. It just kind of retains a little bit of moisture in the soil. Actually, it's real porous. It'll hold a little water in there for it. But matter of fact, it won't let the dirt kind of stick back together, or peat moss in this case. It won't let it compact back together. It's almost like aeration for the soil. You can mix that in there, and basically that's all it is peat moss and perlite. That's basically it. That's what my little seed starting mix consists of. Pretty easy to do. Just make sure you can do like this with it, and just make sure to get all those clumps out of it. You know, you want to work it a little bit to where it kind of settles down. You'll have some clumps in there, but I don't know. I kind of like getting in there and playing with it. Kind of working it. And there you go. You're ready to fill your little trays up. Anyways, that's kind of what I use. So, and I'll tell you another thing. So, these guys don't endorse me or anything, but this is Stay Green. It's horticultural perlite. And the good thing about this brand right here is they don't try to add no fertilizer to it, because you don't want no fertilizer in there when you're starting seeds. That fertilizer can burn those little seedlings. That's not good for them. So just get an all-natural one. So guys, I like to take just a pen. All right, just an ink pen. There's a little ink pen. Kind of focus in and out here. But what I'll do is grab these seeds over here. And these are Bradley tomatoes. Bradley tomato seeds, I would say. Anywho. So, what you want to do is, and usually about that cap right there, and you can do this however you want, but this is just the way I do it. I'll take a marker. Let me grab my marker here. A little Sharpie action. And these seeds need to be about 1/4 of an inch. So about half this little dude right here, half the pen tip. I don't know if you see it, but it's about 1/4 of an inch. And I'll just mark that. And I'll just kind of guesstimate it. It don't have to be perfect, you know. Just kind of put you a little mark on there. I'll put that Sharpie up before I got it all over me. And what you want to do is just take this guy, and I'll just punch out my holes first. So, you know, we'll just start out over here. Let me get my glasses on because I can't see nothing without them. And so what we'll do is we'll just kind of take that line and get it even with the top of the soil, right in the center. You want this thing right in the center. I know this is kind of might get boring, but anywho, this is what you want to do.
Go back down about that line right there. Right there. And as I was telling y'all, sometimes like that right there, you're going to have little chunks in there. And so you want to get those little dudes out of them. Press that back flat again. Let's throw that in that cup. We'll make our hole again. Because what'll happen is you won't get that out of the way. You want your seed coming up. The seed has enough nutrients in it. Because that's what the good Lord does. He knows what he's doing. Each seed has enough nutrients in it to feed this plant, these little seedlings, when they sprout, up to the time they start. They're going to have their seed leaves, which is your first set of leaves. And then once they get their second set of leaves, which you're going to have seed leaves, then it's going to look like a tomato leaf next. That's when you start feeding them. But you don't have to do anything until that time to them, except keep them a little damp. And once they come up, you're going to want to put them under a light. We'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, so got that going on. So there's our holes in these. This can be a little tedious. Well, I hope I got enough seeds for this. These are left over from last year. Now, you can use last year's seeds. So I'm just going to pour them in my hand. See these little fellers? They're itty bitty. So what you want to do is, oh, there they are. Sorry about that. Like I said, y'all, this is my first time doing this on YouTube, anyways. We're making a video. So what you want to do is make sure, because they'll stick together, and just put 2 per hole. And they can be on top of each other. They can be beside each other. But just the same hole. And the reason for that is, you know, if you got double the chance, you don't want to do all this work and that one seed be bad when you could have had 2 in there. And you know that you're going to get a tomato plant. Now, tomatoes, they see the germination rate on tomatoes. If the seed is good and viable, more than likely every one of them is going to come up. That's been my experience. I still do put 2 apiece in there, just because you never know. You know, ain't nothing guaranteed in this life. That's for damn sure. So, like I said, this is a little monotonous what I'm doing. Just bear with me. Like I said, I hope we got enough seeds. Might not have enough seeds. And sometimes you gotta look. Yeah, that's just one. And if you put 3 in there, that's fine. It don't matter if they stick together. Seeds are pretty cheap. As far as seeds go, getting them, man, I've had luck. Look at the date on the package. But I've had luck with buying them at the big box stores, at the nurseries. Brand to me really don't matter. Now, there are some people who say it does, and I've had some luck better than others. I go online. I'll get mine from like Johnny Seeds, Baker Seed Company. They're real good people. And don't cover your holes up until you got them all seeded, because if you cover them up and you're like me and you got a terrible memory, you'll be like, damn, did I seed that thing? And then when you go digging in there, you'll probably push the seed around, be like, I don't know. But just go ahead and keep your holes open. And that way, you'll know when you go to look before you cover them up that you got them all seeded. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to have enough for all these. Yeah, maybe. I might fudge a little and just put 1 per hole, just to show y'all that they usually do come up. So, oh, there's plenty in this pack. I think we're going to be all right. What's that? Yep. Get in your home, little fella.
So, beep, beep. You got to make that noise or it don't work. Beep. All right. I'm going to turn this around so I don't have to stretch. Sorry, moving the camera. Oh, terrible. Like I said, I'll get better as we go along. Trust me, you're gonna have so much luck with this. It's easy peasy. It don't have to be overcomplicated. So let's get that in there. We're almost done, y'all. About to cross the finish line as far as this goes. Bleep, bleep, get in there. And if y'all have any questions or comments, put them down there in the comment box, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. There's in there. Here we go. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. 2. We made it, y'all. It's like all of them are filled up. Put what we got back in the bag. There's some. I'm just going to stick these in here because they fell out on the table. They'll come up. Just randomly anywhere. Get in there. All right. So, just cover these guys up. You don't have to like mash that dirt down. The reason I say that is because you want it to be a little, what am I trying to say, porous. You don't want it just mashed in there. Because you want to give them seeds a fighting chance to come on up. And they're tough. They're tough. When they come on up, they'll come up. They'll poke their little heads up. And you'll be excited. You'll be like, I got tomatoes. So we'll cover these guys up. That's good damp dirt. That's what they like. They don't like it soggy. Sometimes what I'll do is, once this dirt gets wet, and you can do it however you want. Like I said, once you do this a couple times, you'll get the hang of it. It's simple. So we'll cover those up, that up, got gooey, done. All right. They ready to go in the oven. All right. Yeah. We'll be back in a minute, and we'll put these things under the light, and then it's just a matter of time. We'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, we're back, and we're going to put these tomato seeds on the cooker. That's what I like to call it, the old oven there. Anyways, I got this is just a regular old shelf at home. I put some lights in. Now, as far as grow lights go, these right here, you can get these. I got these at Lowe's, $19.99. They got some kind of spectrum in them. I don't know, it's science, whatever. Hey, you can go to. I got these at Tractor Supply. This is just a regular shop light. I found out it don't matter. It does not matter unless just trying to get these seeds started and to grow towards the light is just you want some kind of light. UV light, it's just a spectrum, and these things put out just the spectrum of what you need. I'm not going to get all scientific about this. Anywho, so one thing I will suggest, though, is when you're starting seeds, if you notice everything starts to get its leaves on it when the ground temperature warms up outside. Same with these seedlings. So for $20, go on Amazon and get these things. So what this is, and this is pretty big for the area I'm using it in, but this is a seed, it's a warmer, so it's a seed starting mat. Get up here. And so basically it's got, it's just a little heating pad, and it keeps the
the dirt at a correct temperature. We're doing tomatoes. Tomatoes, usually everything's like about 70 degrees. It's like where they like to be at. They like to be all warm and snuggly like we do. But anywho, let's put this back. If I don't knock everything over here, I've got to fold mine up, but it's still going to work. So we're going to stick that sucker right there. If I can make, I'm not doing so hot here. Here we go. All right. So, and I don't know it, but there's green lines on here. There's a green line at the top on that mat, and that's your heating area. So that's where you want to be. Stop moving. Yeah, so that's good. So we got our light. You don't need no light at first until these guys sprout. I'm just trying to show you, how to get them ready to go, how to be ready. Stick that there. All right, so grab your seed tray. Put it on in there. And you're ready. That's it. It's so simple, y'all. We'll get our mat here adjusted to where everything's kosher. The light's good. So you want to have light to go all the way over this tray, because what's going to happen is when these little guys come up, if you don't have enough light, say if you only have light from here inside, from here inside and not out here, your little plants they're gonna want to grow to the left or to the right. They want to grow towards the light. Look, this is second grade elementary science. You've seen plants outside grow towards the sun. Same thing with this. So just have enough light that every little cell gets light. So basically that's what you want to do. Now with these heating pads, and I'll show you. They've got this little guy right here. And so that's your controller. They'll come with a controller. You should be able to get everything. A good heating pad, but don't cheap out. Go and spend $25. And it's worth it. It's really worth it. And so basically it's pretty easy to use. All you got to do is hold your set button. I'm going to try to use this finger right here. It'll start blinking. You can set your temperature up, or you can set it down. So we're just going to put it on about 75 degrees. Set 75 is backwards. Anyways, hit set again. By golly, we're good. So, see here. Yeah, and it'll say heating. You'll have your little heating eye right there to tell you it's heating. So, it knows to stop because you have a thermostat on this thing. And what you'll do is, I'll just put my little heating element in the little thing over there. And I'll put it in the middle. It's I'll run the wire in the back. And just put it in the middle cell in the dirt. Now, then you should be good. Just try not to disturb your seeds you put in that cell. And so, as you can tell, it was sitting on 60. Now it's 56 degrees. So my dirt's 56 degrees. It's simple, y'all. And now you're ready. I don't have to leave this light on. You can turn it off until they sprout. Once you see that little head come up, you're going to turn your light on. And you're going to turn your light on for 8 hours on. You're going to turn it on for 8 hours off. Or I should say, no. You could do 12 and 12. Or 24 hours in a day. What am I talking about? Like I live on a planet with 16 hours in a day. Here's the way I do it. When I get home at night, I don't like to leave stuff on during the day. Call me weird. I don't know. But that's just how I am. So, now I will leave the temperature mat on. They're pretty good. And, I've never worried about them. I've been using these things for years, and I've not ever had a problem. Don't. I did know somebody once that tried to use a heating pad and it got wet and it didn't work out too well. Don't do that. Just go on and get these. They're made if water gets spilt on them, that they're not going to mess up on you, because nobody wants that. So I leave these on during the day. They're fine. When I get home at night, I'll turn my lights on. I'll leave them on all night when I go to work in the morning, I'll shut everything off. And that's only after they come up, because they need that cycle. Just like if they were outside, they need that cycle, that daylight on, that daylight off. That's how plants work. Once these things come up, I tend to like to put a little fan on, and that way they can get some air circulation. And what that does is by them moving a little bit. And like I said, when they come up, we'll revisit this when they come up, because it's exciting. It's really exciting. Anyways, but they'll blow a little bit and they'll wave back and forth, and it makes them stronger. And so it makes your plants really strong. And we'll get into hardening these things off. So what you want to do is, I'm cheap. I'll take a solo cup and I'll cut a piece out of it, and I'll put whatever it is I'm growing on there. And they're thin, so you can slide them right down in here. When I say that, that way you know what you got. Bradley tomatoes. So if your brain's anything like mine, you forget a lot, and I forget a whole lot. So make sure you put that in there, especially if you're doing different sales, because let's face it, really, don't nobody really need this many tomatoes in their garden unless you eat a whole lot of tomatoes. So you might just want to do like half of this tomatoes, half of it peppers. So definitely mark them. But I mean, when they come up, you're going to know what they are anyways. The main thing is the varieties. If you do, because you'll forget. You'll forget. You'll want to do different varieties in here. Go on and mark them what they are, because you're gonna forget, and that's it. That's really it. So we'll go ahead and these should be ready in about 7 to 10 days. That's how long tomatoes take to germinate. Sometimes earlier if the conditions are right. Like I said, if that dirt stays warm, they'll probably come up earlier. I wouldn't be surprised here in about 4 days if I come back and these guys are already coming up. And then, you can grow these things inside. I've let them get probably about a foot tall before I've taken them outside. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there is a hardening off process. We'll go through that. So that's it, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully more to come. I'm just starting this thing out. Like I said, I've been working at a nursery for 20 years now. And if there's any kind of, trees, shrubs, and we're going to get into this. We're going to dive into this gardening thing, because I know y'all want to learn. I believe anybody can grow anything. It's like anything. You're going to have failures. You're going to have failures. You're going to fail. It's in us. If you fail and you've tried, you've succeeded. But if you fail and don't even try again, you're gonna fail every time. You just gotta keep at it. It's like anything. You just gotta keep at it. But anyways, I'll let y'all go. I know y'all got more important. And now, go on get now.